This morning, a question that I've been walking with for about 20 years was solved. I could never understand why in Parashat Dvarim, and I know we're in Parashat Baha'alotcha this Shabbat, but in a moment you'll understand, why in Parashat Dvarim, when Moshe says to the children of Israel, I can't do this alone, lo ochal levadi, they don't pick up on that prop and do something about praying and demanding of God for Moshe to enter into the land of Israel. I came to understand this morning that in our parasha, we also have that phrase, lo ochal levadi, et kol ha'am. It's a statement that Moshe makes to God. Seemingly the same statement, but what a difference. When Moshe says it to God, God immediately responds in our parasha. And later in Dvarim, when he says it to the children of Israel, they don't hear him and they don't respond. I want to connect it to the issue of Pesach Sheni, that we know that if someone is, the Torah tells us, tamei nefesh, impure because it was actually, we're taught, connected to a met mitzvah, someone who there was no one else to bury them, or derech roka, a far journey, then they are not obligated to perform the Korban Pesach the first in Nisan, but they can do it again a month later. Trying to understand what is this tamei nefesh and what is this derech roka, what is this impurement of the soul and also a far journey. I want to say, and I want to invite you to think about teachers, perhaps, books that you've read, teachers that you've learned from, that sometimes you know they're talking to you, and sometimes what they're saying can't connect to, throws you far from where you were a moment ago. Sometimes there are teachings, there are Torah that bring us closer to God. Sometimes there are those that distance us. And who are those teachers? And what are those books? And in our own life, as teachers, as parents, as friends, how do we find a way, as our Parashat tells us, the uniqueness of Moshe was pe el pe adaber bo. When he spoke to God, it was pe el pe. So when he says to God, I can't do this alone, God actually moves into action. But when he says, I can't do this alone, to the children of Israel, that wasn't pe el pe. They couldn't understand what he was saying. I want to invite us to think about how we speak, to whom we speak, what words we choose, so that when we share words of Torah, when we share words that are sustainable, I want to say that bring us life, as the Ma'oinaim tells us on this parasha, we have an obligation to find the appropriate speech for each and every person we talk to. That we can be pe el pe, we can be, so to speak, mouth to mouth, heart to heart resuscitation. That we can speak in a way that people understand us, that we bring them close in a way that brings meaning to their lives and an intimacy with God and with life and with others in a way that other words would not. Shabbat Shalom.